Hello, everyone. Keith Tebow, FRCmedia. Thank you for joining us today. We are about a month away from the September 1st state primary, and things may look a little different this election season. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts passed a law to make it easier for people to vote by mail for both the primary election and the general election in November. What does that mean for voters in the city of Fall River? I'm pleased to be joined now by the Election Commission Chairwoman, Kelly Souza-Young. Kelly, how are you?
Good, and yourself, Keith?
I am doing well. So let's talk first about the system that's been put in place. The legislature passed, the governor signed a bill which will allow easier time for voters across the Commonwealth to fill out an application for a mail ballot / absentee ballot. So they'll be able to take part in the elections as if they have any concerns around the COVID-19 pandemic and the virus. So those applications were sent out by the state last week and going to every registered voter. Is that correct in the Commonwealth?
Correct. Yes.
And what have you seen thus far in terms of how it's impacted the city of Fall River?
Well, so far we've seen about 7,000 returns from voters, so that's a good indication of how many people are going to vote by mail, and we still have until August 26th deadline for you to get that back to us.
So people have until August 26th to get back the application. It's just basically a postcard, correct, that people got in the mail? Yeah. What does it look like, I guess?
Postcard. It's kind of like this, if you can see it. I'm going to cross out the person's name that we have here, but it's kind of just basically a postcard. It comes in. It just says official vote by mail application. On the inside, it also has basically to let you know that you want to vote by mail. If you are considered unenrolled, you would have to pick a party here. And if you have to let us know this side, you have to let us know whether or not you want it for the just the September primary, just the November election, or both elections.
And from what you've seen thus far, and 7,000, that's let's talk about that first. That's a lot of people thus far, and the applications have only been out for about a week, correct?
Correct. And let's see, based on our numbers in the past, the 2018 state primary, we only had 5,200 voters. And then the 2016 primary, we only had about 2,900 voters. So I'm hoping this will be a good turnout with everybody, the majority of people voting by mail.
So the numbers you just gave, those were voters who actually came to the polls, or the total number of voters for that year. And you already have 7,000. Out of those 7,000, are from what you've seen, are many of them requesting ballots for both the primary and the general election? Just the general? Do you have any just ideas? Is it mainly both?
The majority of them are want it for both elections.
Right. So that is quite the number. So go through with us, if you could, what happens when your office gets the application back? What happens to the processing of those applications? And I guess what will happen as we head into the September 1st primary?
Okay, so once we receive the application from the voter, we process it on whether they want one election or both elections. We process it by if they gave us a separate mailing address, and if they had to pick a party. From there, it gets treated like our absentee applications. We put a packet together, mail them out the ballot, and once they vote, send it back to us. We process it in-house, basically letting the system know that they did vote. From there, it goes to the polls on election day, where the poll worker will check them in that they voted, and they will get credit for voting.
Now, in terms of the ballots, how quick of a turnaround is it? It may be a little easier at this point, since we already know what the ballot would look like for the primary. So I guess, what is your process of getting the absentee / mail ballots out for the primary? When will you start doing that? When can people, I guess, start seeing ballots in the mail?
Well, we're waiting for an update from the state, and that will happen on Thursday. From there, we're hoping to start sending them out next week. We already just finished actually our absentee. We had about 545 of our regular absentee vote applications that we just processed. So we're getting those out first, and now we're going to start working on the online mail-in voting.
Now, the absentee ballots that you just referenced from before, was those applications that were completed prior to this mail-in process, or is it a separate process?
The majority of them have been since January. So they voted in the presidential primary. So they opt for all elections for the year, which the application will run out December 31st of this year. And so basically they have it already on file. So they wouldn't get a early voting ballot application. We would just automatically send them the ballot.
Now, are the ballots, do the absentee ballots that you've said are already gone out, and the mail ballots, are they going to basically look the same?
It's the exact same ballot.
Exact same ballot. Okay. So I guess as an election official, I mean, we talk a lot about, turnout. We always want to see as many people voting as possible. Does this encourage you at all that we may have a higher than expected turnout just based on these early numbers, at least for the primary?
Well, it does, because like I said, 2018, our voter turnout was 11%, or approximately about 5,200 voters, and we already have 7,000 just in our mail-in. That's not including people that are going to vote early in person. That starts August 22nd through the 28th, and then the same day voting on September 1st, the primary.
Right. So potentially we can have a very, very big turnout for both elections. Now, if someone gets the application and they feel at this time that, well, I think I'll be able to, let's say they just checked off the primary ballot to get a mail-in ballot, but they feel that they have the opportunity to go in person in November, but change their mind. Is there a way for them to get a mail ballot after the fact? Is this the only application they'll get?
No, because what will happen is if they only chose for this primary, they can either call our office and we can send them a ballot for the application for the November election.
So you have extra applications, if you will, in your office that you can send people if people change their minds, correct?
Correct. And also we also have it on our website, and it's on the state website, or they can call our office and we can mail them one.
All right. Just one other final note I want to touch upon briefly is that if you have not registered to vote yet, you still have time, correct? I believe it's the 16th where people can register to vote still in time for the primary. Is that correct?
Actually, they bumped it up. So the last day to register to vote or make any changes is August 22nd. It's a Saturday, and it's our first day of early voting. We'll have 2 sessions, from 2 to 4 on Saturday and from 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturday.
And that'll be for voting and registering at the same time?
Correct. Well, voting will be from 8 to 2 that day, and then we'll have some voter registration. But if somebody wants to vote at that point, we will have the booth ready for them to vote.
So in effect, if someone registers that day, they can also vote that day?
Correct. Technically, yes.
Okay, very good. Because I know we had talked earlier about the date, and I think it was earlier, the deadline to register to vote. So you got until the 22nd of August, and then that following week, right, Kelly, will be another early voting week for people who want to cast their ballots in person before September 1st?
Yes, it'll be from August 22nd, 23rd, which is the Saturday and Sunday. We will offer it from 8 to 2. And then Monday through Friday of that week, up until the Friday the 28th, we will have it from normal business hours, from 9 to 5.
And then that'll be the 6 days. And then obviously after that, the following Tuesday is going to be primary election day. And it'll be interesting to see how many people turn out. And I venture to guess that you may actually have more mail ballots in than in-person people voting. I don't know what your thoughts on that are.
Yes, I'm tending to see that, just by what we've received so far, just a sample of the 7,000 that we received. Yes, I'm seeing more towards it is gonna be a higher turnout. It already is just by the mail-in ballots, but we will have a
Right.
higher turnout than 2 years ago.
All right. So if you have not done so yet and you've got the application for a mail ballot, you need to return it to the elections office and government center by August 28th. Is that the
No,
date of
26,
26th?
the
26th. I'm getting
26th.
my dates. August 26th is the deadline to send that back to the office. You'll be able to get a mail ballot. And you can also get your mail ballot set for the November election at the same time. Kelly Souza-Young, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith. You have a good day.
You too now. Thanks. And I want to thank you for joining us here at FRC Media as we have more information as we head up until the September 1st primary day. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great day.